What's up, guys? Hope you are having an amazing day. Welcome back to the channel. Well, you've seen the title. Does lens sharpness really matters? Does it matter? Is it something that we should really care about? Take a look at these photos and then let's talk about it. As someone who is very obsessed with cameras and lenses, sometimes you get in this idea of trying to find the sharpest lens or trying to get the gear that is like the biggest megapixel or like the sharpest lens that you could find on the market, the biggest glass and then the widest apertures and all that. But at the end of the day, does all of this really matters? Like, is it a strategy by the lens and camera manufacturers, the brands, to put this idea in our heads to make us feel like that is what we need, to make us feel like you have to have that, the sharpest lens or the fastest lens, the fastest glass, to be able to create the work that we are creating? And as a photographer, as someone who does fine art and street photography, I tend to ask myself this question a lot, especially when I find myself always like seeking out for new lens or new glass. Like, I ask myself, why do I really need this lens? Is it because it's not giving me the results that I want? Or is it because it's not as sharp? Or is it because I just want another gear, which is gas, and it's very dangerous. So you should stay away from it. But at the end of the day, when you looked at these photos that I just showed you, what was the first thing that came in your mind? For me, when I looked at the photos, the first thing that comes in my mind is trying to understand what I'm seeing in the image. So the story behind the image, the emotions that it's making me feel. And at the end of the day, I think that is the most important. If you look at all of these photos, I don't think you will come across this printed on the wall, or even if you are scrolling through Instagram, or if you are flipping through a book, or if you're looking at it on your iPad. I don't think you come across any of these photos and you ask what lens they were shot with and what aperture and like how sharp was the lens. As photographers, amongst photographers, sometimes we ask those questions, but in general, a lot of people do not care about that, because at the end of the day, the image that they are looking at is speaking to them, it's making them feel something, and that is the most important. So when I look at this image, it's what I feel, it's the story that I'm getting out of that really matters. Of course, we have to also establish that sharpness of a lens is not focus. You can make a photo and it's out of focus. That has nothing to do with the sharpness of the lens. So if you get an image like focused, then we talk about sharpness. So you don't have to confuse the two, or you don't have to think the two are the same. They are two different things. Having a photo in focus is one thing, and then having a photo that is focused really sharp is also another thing. And to me, I think it is overrated. I think it is something that is not very important, especially for what I do. I don't think it's necessary to just like obsess over how sharp a lens is. So at the end of the day, like I said, like the photos I showed you, when you look at them, what it makes you feel is what is important. As long as you have the photo in focus, even if it's out of focus, there's a lot of work that I have seen that is completely out of focus, either intentional or unintentional. Sometimes it just works, and at that moment, you are not asking yourself, why is it out of focus? Because at the end of the day, that is what the photographer wants you to see. So if you take a book, which in this video, I'll be using this book. This book is made by women street photographers, and I really love this book. I kept seeing it at our local bookstore, and for a minute, of course, when I saw street photography, I'm already sold to it. And then when I flip through and look at the work, the amazing work that is in here, man, you have to check it out. They have a website. Most of the images that I showed you guys in the beginning were all collected from their website. So go check them out. Pick up this book if you really enjoy these photos. Most of them are in here. But anyway, if you pick up this book and you are flipping through, you know, you are not zooming in and pixel peeking and seeing if there is any chromatic aberration, if there is any halation, if there is any, all of the stuff that we talk about lenses when you watch all lens reviews. We are not doing all of that because it doesn't matter at this point, because the work, it's speaking for itself. I'm enjoying the colors, the composition, you know, the story that the photographer is trying to tell. So again, does lens sharpness really matters? You know, I would like to know in the comments what you guys think. You know, at the end of the day, to everyone their own, to each their own. Whatever that saying is, I cannot remember to say it, but if we continue to obsess about, you know, sharpness and stuff like that, I think we end up deviating from the art and just doing advertisement for all these lens and camera manufacturers, because we are selling the tool instead of selling the art. That is how I think. That is, in my personal opinion, that's how I feel about it. Am I going to still ask my friends what the next lens that I want to get, how sharp it is? No, I'm not going to. That will contradict everything that I'm saying in this video. So I'm not going to do that, because at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. What matters is the art. So whatever lens you have, whether it's the Jupiter, you know, the Russian lenses, or you have the high-end Leica M glasses, at the end of the day, if one photographer uses both lenses, or if two separate photographers uses these lenses and create a body of work and put it out there, nobody cares what lens they used or what glass they use. At the end of the day, it's going to be about the photograph, it's going to be about the story, it's going to be about the emotions in the image, and that is what really matters. All these photos that I shared with you guys, I don't know what cameras they were taken with. I don't know what lens they were taken with. You know, it could be the cheapest camera on the market, or it could be the most expensive camera on the market, but I do not care. I don't want to know, because the work is what I'm consuming and not the gear. So I hope, you know, you get something out of this video. It's been a conversation that has been on my mind for a minute. I've had this conversation with some friends, and at the end of the day, as much as, like I said, we obsess about gears and cameras and lenses and all these crap that these companies wants to sell us, to me, the work is what matters. So go out there and create the work, no matter the gear that you have, and stop obsessing about all these lenses and how sharp a lens is. Some people go to the extent of even like pixel peeking, to like zooming in and making sure you can see every single pore on the face. It's not necessary, it's not important. Let's leave that to the digital photographers. When you shoot film, especially when you shoot film, it really doesn't matter. And this is not a shade to digital photographers if you shoot on digital. Of course, this video is being shot on digital, so yeah, that is that. Also, if you are wondering why I decided to show only black and white photos in this video, or if you can tell, most of the photos except just one is all women photographers. If you're wondering why and you want to know, well, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.